FIFA World Cup is done. Chelsea versus Paris was exciting, but let's talk a little bit about the. Let's talk about the competition itself. Was it a success or a failure? What do you think?
The clubs got paid, so I think it's a success.
Actually, did you know? yeah,
I mean,
in a sense, it's a 50-50 for me. 50 because I like competition. I like you always want to watch the sport. You want to watch something, but is it at the expense of the players itself? Because Enzo Fernandez, or is it Enzo? I don't know if it's Enzo Fernandez, but Enzo, he plays at Chelsea. We all know him. He fainted, and he said because it was so hot, 95 to 105 degrees. I think the World Cup next year should take this weather into account, right? But they've played so much games, then they don't get to really rest. That is where I think the problem will be. But was it successful as a competition? For me personally, I think it was. Because a lot of people thought they were just gonna come out and play the B team, but unfortunately, it wasn't no B team. It was.
That's what I was gonna say.
Deal.
To me, what made it the success was the players. Treated it seriously, whether or not early on in the competition, and that happens in the Club World Cup before as well. You know, where the Oceanic winner gets demolished by Europe. Come on, like this happens every single time that the intercontinental cups come around. So the Auckland City thing was not that surprising to me, and I don't think that it really had much to do with kind of watering this thing down to get more clubs in there. But what really made this was later on in the tournament, the big clubs maintained because they played hard. There was no crazy upset because an England squad fielded a B team and got taken over. They took it seriously. And it's obvious that they didn't take it seriously for the prestige of the cup. But like I said, you can't tell me that the $100+ million bonus at the end of this thing is not real money. And the competition might not be real yet, but that prize money is real.
And I was reading this thing. This was released by the FIFA that they made $1 billion. Although the FIFPro, which is the Players Association, is saying that he's just popping on the numbers just because he wants to have this kind of competition because it's a money grab. That's what the Players Association were arguing, because they feel like they should not have had this competition. But the FIFA was saying they made a lot of money. In fact, Bayern, which didn't even get to the final, made 47 million. So imagine all these teams making money, and even the smaller ones from Oceania, from South Africa, which I'm saying they made. You think South Africa, that team,
the Sundowns,
if they made like, let's say they even made $10 million. Compared to what their players are earning in their own league, which I know for sure it's not that big, but $10 million, you think it's good money.
And people aren't considering this as well. Like they see the $100 million, or whatever the club walks away with. That's not just going to transfers. Like Chelsea aren't going to sign from just this. I mean, it pads out their bank account to be able to do it later, but like that $100 million is not going to just go sign a player. Like the players, the staff, they're all getting bonuses out of this thing. Again, the money is real. It might lean toward a contract signing later, but like everybody's going to be renewing. Everybody's going to get a bonus for this because like it's the players that earned the prize money, and so this is not about the cup or the trophy. This is about the prize money.
And I think
your players are walking away with a good bonus from this.
And the other argument is, okay, if we had all this inconsistency on how you get qualified into the competition. I think
that's my only issue with it, and we've had that conversation.
We gotta fix that, but when you fix that, even when you see this I want to see the underdogs, the teams from the lower competition, because it's a competition at the end of the day. The Champions League don't get to the final or don't start by just putting all the big. You gotta put some teams because you don't know, and that's what makes a competition a competition. You can't just have all the elites together, and you never know. Like we had so much upset. It's the same thing with the World Cup when one of the Saudi teams beat Argentina. You have that, and you're like, oh, this is exciting because at the end of the day, that's sports. So I think it was a success, but I think they should look at scheduling, because if you have the the World Cup next year, how would you fix this scheduling? It's hard.
You're going
3 p.m. It's hard. 4 p.m. It's crazy.
And someone's going to, in terms of time zones, someone's going to get the bad end of the stick here, and you have to you have to accept that. And unfortunately, the way that they've scheduled it is the best compromise to maintain some sort of consistency, because North America and South America are by and large in the same time zones, and so Europe, Europe was having to stay up late for some of these games, but at the end of the day, we were still trying to keep a lot of them around that 2 to 3 p.m. for us, because that's what time we're used to. Champions League games coming on, because our viewership is so strong, and we make do with the European time slots. We just accept the fact that Champions League days are at 2 p.m. You either watch it live or you watch it when you get home from work.
Or you watch the highlights.
Or you watch the highlights. But if you really want to watch the game, you just have to go about 6 hours without having it spoiled for you, which, trust me, motherfuckers, it's harder than it looks sometimes. But no, I mean, like it can't be altered that much to make sure that the world's time zones are the most middle of the road and fair and most fair for everybody. And it just so happens to coincide with our hottest time of the day, which is that 2 to 4 p.m. It's an absolute killer in the summer.
Yep. And when it came down to it, a lot of you guys were talking about the competition not being a competition, but they all had your best players. Talk about, in some these other leagues, they can beat the guys in Europe. They can't. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, you saw the final. It just to prove to you guys that over there, the level is way high. But let's talk about this Chelsea Paris. For me, I like the final, and it's not even because Chelsea, Paris beat Madrid. No, the final was good. But it also exposed Paris for what I thought Paris would be in trouble even if any other teams had played a little bit like them. What I mean by that, the overcommitment from the defense, and Maresca really thought well about this, having to funnel all the balls through the right flank. Which there was a lot of overcommitment from Nuno Mendes and
Hakimi. They spend all their time in midfield.
That's the problem.
You're asking for that to happen to you if you spend all your time in the midfield.
But the crazy part is that Chelsea also alternated a lot of midfield and spent a lot of time on the midfield too. But the difference is that they didn't. They chose the weakest point, which was that left, because Nuno Mendes, as much as Hakimi committed, he was always up to, but Nuno Mendes the same thing. So and Kvaratskhelia the same thing. So everything went through that. But Palmer, I think he has the potential to be one of the greatest 10. The reason why I say, I watch him play. He has this, when he's in the action, he thinks about it. You can see the 1 second of thought process that goes through before he does the pass.
He's already in the process of moving before the thought's being completed. So in a way, it's less about thinking about what to do and kind of just being able to do it. And it's like and there are artists that way as well. It's like, I can't explain to you how I did that. I just did it, and I can do it again. but I can't just tell you like the whole like. I love when people ask athletes like, "What were you thinking in that moment?" Very rarely do they go, "Well, I thought I had to do this, and then that, and if this happened, the opportunity would present itself for this." They usually just go, "We just went in and scored, man." It's like because it does become such muscle memory that it's like they're thinking about it. There's an awareness of it, but it's not necessarily overly premeditated in a way that they can just recount to you how they thought to do that or why they did that. It is what it is.
As a team, they did very good. Having Reece James alongside Caicedo gave Chelsea a lot of solidity.
If he can stay healthy, he's phenomenal.
Gusto was good too, but my problem with Gusto is if you guys are running a counterattack and the ball he's just running, he can run over, cross it or cut back but at the moment he stops, it's done for him. If you're a defender, you don't even have to, you don't have to come. You just got to stay and watch him. He's going to turn around and he's going to be confused. That's my problem with him. He don't do well with one-on-one.
But he has improved in the last couple of seasons, and there is a place for him in that starting lineup. But I would agree with that. But I mean, Caicedo has found his own. I think Lavia is really on his way to hitting what his standard is, which I think is deceptively higher than some people think. If Reece James can stay fit, He's excellent, and Palmer's back in form. So you're like, okay. I mean, like, this is the frustratingly annoying thing about Chelsea, where they can, and someone said it as well, like, this was the most Chelsea win ever, because it's just like, this is what they do. They can flounder and fail to meet expectations, but if they can just get to a cup final, son of a bitch, they do it. Like, they just do it. They do it. And so, you always have to take that into consideration when playing them.
And it wasn't an underdog. Chelsea wasn't an underdog. I know a lot of times when Chelsea gets to the final of any competition, it's all, the rhetoric is always, the underdog. They were not underdog. Yeah. It's Chelsea. They have the money. You cannot be underdog when you have the money.
Yeah.
You can't be underdog when you have all because their roster is actually a good roster.
Yeah.
Just couldn't play together.
They're very rarely an underdog because of the lack of talent, the lack of finances, the lack of something that an underdog squad usually has. It's just that they're perpetually out of form for a long period of time, and they just scrape by to get to that final moment, and then the lights come on and they all crush it. Like, that's what happens with them.
Quick question before we finish, right?
Yeah.
Chelsea this year, where do you see them finishing? Because I think these guys will be a problem in the Premier League.
Yeah,
this year.
Yeah. I think that
if they stay, if what we saw, they stay fit.
Yeah,
they're gonna be a problem.
Yep. I think that if Man City kind of maintain the unconvincing but still, top 4 level, like, I think that Chelsea is in that top 4 consideration without a doubt.
Okay.
I don't expect much of a decline from Liverpool. If the signings from Arsenal are what they seem to be by the end, I expect at least to be in that top second, that second slot, unmoved, whether they take home silverware or not. Yeah. But if you make all those improvements, you should not decline or drop a step at all. Yeah, I think that Chelsea is top 3 or top 4 if they continue finding that uniform ability that they have right now.
At the end of the day, what I would say, the Premier League this season will be really, really competitive. I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying it will be a little bit level ground. What I mean by that is, all the teams will have their asset, especially the top 6 we know them to be. They will compete this.
Yeah, and
City might be the only.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know if they'll be leaps and bounds improved, but even then, they still kind of maintained a bit of consistency by the end to rectify what felt like a free fall for a while. And I do think that the one thing that Liverpool doesn't have going for them at the moment, it's not the quality of players, it's not the tactics being implemented, it's the fact that we know what to expect now.
Yeah.
I think that partly. The performances spoke for themselves. I'm not saying they didn't, but part of what made that run of form this past season so impressive and kind of so blindsiding was that we didn't expect that from a new manager.
That's true.
You did not expect the harmony to maintain so thoroughly with that position of power changing hands. But now you know what to expect from them, and so I think that doesn't work in their favor. But that does not mean that they're going to be any less of that quality that they were last season. I fully expect them to maintain that form.
That is true. Round of applause for Chelsea.
Yeah, you. I'm kidding. Yeah, whatever.